So here we go, folks. We predicted and reacted to these lines yesterday, and we found some really solid value, folks. There is some really good value here this week. There's also some questionable value. I mean, Vegas has gave us some good stuff, but then also made it tough. So we do still have three sections here. Two sections. We do our locks and our 99% guarantees. We will be picking all the matchups here, but we will put them in, how we're feeling. Once again, I said some great value. Those will be our locks. Some all right value, kind of playing the line game really close here, but we still think we're making the right selection. Those are going to be our 99% guarantees. And then there's one game this week that I think is the hardest to call. It's probably the toughest matchup because both teams are true kind of Super Bowl kind of aspiring teams. They were talked about as Super Bowl contenders the entire year. Maybe the back end of the season maybe made it a little bit more fuzzy. But overall, these are two still talented teams when they're at the top of their A game. And this one's just too tough to call. So we're going to put it in a 98% guarantee section. And we're going to watch a little bit of film on it just to see, because there's two glaring, jarring issues with both of these teams that were like, oh, this is big bad and this is probably why they're going to lose, but they both have it, and then there's points involved and road team involved and home team involved and how do they go and all this. So I've been racking my brain ever since we revealed the line yesterday on the show. I've just been racking my brain. Which side do we go? What is the play here? God, give me a sign. And so far, he has just not given us a sign, so we got to do it ourselves, folks. We got to take action and matters into our own hands. Womp womp. Alrighty here. But let's refresh these lines one more time. And let's also remind y'all what we did last week, week 18. So here we go. What we did last week. We had two locks last week. Bucks -8. That one hit. Bingo, bango over the Panthers. Y'all know how we feel about the Panthers. Then we also took the Titans -10. They were up 21-0 in the first half. Second half, way more competitive. I think they only won by like 3 or 4. So unfortunately, that one did not hit. Then we had the Raiders +3. Bingo, bango. They take care of business in overtime. Chiefs -10. Once again, Chiefs just could not close it out. And that's going to be, a point of emphasis potentially this week of taking points. Points matters, and we've got some evidence to back that up. But Chiefs -10 last week. No, Texans were way more competitive. Then we had the Steelers +4. They went outright. Bingo, bango. And then we had a special category of betting on coaches last week. Taking the Lions +3.5. Bingo, bango. Dan Campbell, a great coach. He's got our blessing. He's got our green flag heading into this offseason. Well done, Dan Campbell. They went outright. Don't need the 3.5. Then we took the Jets +16.5, betting on Robert Saleh, and they lose by 16. 15+15.5. They lost by 17. I think we took it at 16.5 at game day. Jets +15.5, 16.5, whatever it is. They didn't cover it anyway because Robert Saleh floundered big time in the fourth quarter. So what are we doing here? No, we don't have any blessing. We don't have any green flags on Robert Saleh heading into this offseason. We will be brutal on Robert Saleh this entire year. You give up the final week. You give up in the fourth quarter. What is that? What kind of coaching is that? You don't see Dan Campbell doing that. No. So Robert Saleh, a little bit of a bad taste in our mouth. All right, that's what we did last week, so let's do a lot better this week. Let's go 6 for 6, yes, in the playoffs when it truly matters, yes? All righty, here we go. Let's start with our 3 locks this week. And the first lock we are going to take, and this is the easiest bet, the best bet, the lock of the locks, if you will, folks. Chiefs -12.5, folks. We would swallow 55 points here. I'm predicting a 55-0 win here by the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs at home. Chiefs offense is going to be good to go. Tyreek Hill should be good to go for this game. So that's all we need to know. We're done with this game. We can move on. The lock of the lock. Chiefs -12.5. That's all you need to know. Big Ben's arm, folks. Come on. We're going to believe into that. We're going to believe into the hype, the magic. Even Big Ben himself says, yeah, we've got no chance to win this game. Mike Tomlin was celebrating in the locker room after the win alone, and they were still not even secured into the playoff spot until that night game. The Raiders-Chargers game was truly deciding their fate. But Mike Tomlin in the locker room knew, hey, this is it. This is all we're going to do. This is the win. This is our Super Bowl. So, yeah, I'm going to celebrate with my team. How many times have we seen Mike Tomlin dance in the locker room with his players? maybe a handful of times at most. It rarely happens. So when it does happen, it's a big occasion, and we know why, because the Steelers have no chance. If I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to put the show on the line. If the Steelers win this week over the Chiefs, I am done with the show. I will cancel Takes by Fans. I'll give it to one of y'all, one of the loyal fans listening. I'll let y'all run the show. If the Steelers win, it doesn't matter. The NFL, nothing matters in the NFL. Breaking it down, watching the film, talking about it, nothing matters. So why should we do it? If the Steelers win, we are done with Takes by Fans. I am done with the show. Nothing matters. Everything is pointless, and there's no reason to go on, folks, if the Steelers win. Big Ben, folks. What the hell? Are we betting on Big Ben this week? No, of course we can't. Now, the Steelers defense is solid. This is a solid defense here. And if the Steelers have any chance to win, obviously we know it's going to come from the defense like it has been the last couple of weeks here. Steelers winning out the last 2 weeks to secure this playoff spot somehow. Absolutely wild. Once again, we will never forgive Carson Wentz for this. But yeah, it's just this Steelers offense is one of the worst things ever. One of the worst offenses in the history of the NFL. Najee Harris a little banged up as well, so they can't even be like, well, we can just at least run the ball. No, you can't. You can't anymore. So they can't throw the ball. They're not going to be able to run the ball. Juju Smith-Schuster may be back. Okay. Is he going to catch the ball? No, because Big Ben can't throw the ball. Chiefs defense got a little exposed last week, but I expect that to be shored up a little bit. Chiefs at home, looking to get back to the Super Bowl. This is back-to-back participations of the Super Bowl, folks. This is not a scrub team. I know y'all know they're not a scrub team, but this is not a scrub team where Big Ben's a little bit of a wink and wonker, like we know, dinking and dunking, winking and wonking. Mike Tomlin's good. The defense is good. So if the Steelers win, it has their handprints all over it. I doubt that happens. We're talking playoffs now. Yes, the Steelers won last week, but it was against Tyler Huntley's Ravens, once again. And that Ravens offense is not a good passing offense, so you can't just plug and play quarterbacks in there. Yeah, Tyler Huntley's got some decent legs like Lamar Jackson. He's got a decent arm like Lamar Jackson, but he doesn't have that it factor like Lamar Jackson does. So that Ravens team lost like the final 6 games of the season. Is that a good team? No, it's not. We know the Steelers really should not be in this position, so of course we cannot bet them, and of course we're swallowing 12.5 here with this Chiefs team. Lock of the locks, folks. Best bet of the week. Alrighty, here we go. Next lock here. And we lost a ton of value over the last 2 hours. What the hell? Y'all are betting it, and I can't even blame y'all. So, y'all made the right decision, but y'all stole 1.5 points of value. Y'all stole an entire 1.5 points value from me. Alright, but we're going Eagles +8 here, folks. Eagles +8. We know this Eagles team offensively is good. The running game is good. Jalen Hurts with the passing game is good. And Jalen Hurts is going to be able to go this week. Tom Brady, tons of turnovers in the playoffs. We've seen it by this man last year. No Antonio Brown, only having to really focus on Mike Evans. How is that going to play out? Leonard Fournette should be back this game, but first game back, is he going to be able to kind of go balls to the wall week 1 here? Eagles not starting Jalen Hurts last week, can't get it done with just Gardner Minshew, which is fine because Gardner Minshew does not have that extra element of running as a quarterback. Jalen Hurts does, and they utilize that and they capitalize that, and that is the offense. This Eagles offense is taking everybody's talents and utilizing them to perfection, letting Devontae Smith have those one-on-one opportunities. Jalen Hurts recognizing those one-on-one matchups and giving him a 50-50 ball that Devontae Smith, for the most part, wins because he's a great wide receiver. Nick Sirianni allowing Jalen Hurts the freedom to run the ball and incorporating designed quarterback runs into the game to get the defense off balance and all that. So we love that by the Eagles team. We love Nick Sirianni. He's a great coach. Good coach. Should we go good? Do we do dare? I'll declare him great after this game if he's competitive and keeps it close. But so far, good year 1 here. Running game has been consistent. Passing game has been consistent. Defense has been consistent all year long. Now, another huge factor in this game is it's about to be a tsunami out there in Tampa Bay. We're talking guaranteed rain. We're talking 99% guaranteed rain over there and 20 to 40 mile an hour winds. So it's going to be wet. It's going to be windy. It's going to be raining probably throughout the entirety of the game. So lesser scoring game, less passing. Eagles already had that established run alongside Jalen Hurts' dual threat ability, so you can fake the pass and still run in the pouring torrential downpour rain. So just getting points regardless is a pretty good value here, and we're getting 8, which is the second highest most points. The highest spread game is the Chiefs game, -12. The second is this Eagles team. I'm taking the points here with the Eagles. Bucs kept it close last season against the Washington football team and Taylor Heineke. If Taylor Heineke can keep a game close, I'm sure Jalen Hurts can as well. I know Washington was at home last season, so a little bit of a difference, but not totality-wise. So Tom Brady's been having multiple games with multiple interceptions this season. Does it in the postseason. It's not 100% guarantee that the Bucs win this game, folks. I remember I told y'all a couple weeks ago I was chatting with an Eagles fan, one of my buddies, and I was like, hey, facing Tom Brady and the Bucs is probably your best chance of getting out of the first round. He called me crazy. I would have called me crazy if you told me, anytime during the last 20 years, hey, the Dolphins can make the playoffs if they just beat Tom Brady. I'd be like, all right, yeah, you're crazy. So love the Eagles here. Love them plus the 8. Do kind of expect a little bit of an upset here. So you would have a little bit of an endorsement. I'm not talking about spending tons of money on this, but a couple of bucks on the money line here. Eagles straight up. I would toss a few bucks onto that. I do love the 8, though. That's where all the money is going, though. Plus the 8. And like I said, y'all are betting the 9.5. That's why it's fallen in the last 2 hours from Eagles plus 9.5 to Eagles plus 8, because y'all are taking those points. And I think that is the better play overall. Eagles plus the 8 here. And then we have, do we have this? Is this up? No. All right. So, yes, Eagles plus 8, folks. Love it. Tom Brady. He's great. We know Tom Brady's great. We know Bruce Arians is great. We know Todd Bowles is great. But at the end of the day, playoff games are usually a little close. Yeah, let's talk about this just quickly here. Here we go. What about wild card games? Are usually wild card games competitive, or are they usually just blowouts? Is points good value, or should we be swallowing points based on the last couple of years' history in the wild card game? So let's quickly go back. I want to go back to like 2018, the last 3 years, just to kind of see blowouts, or is it competitive? Is points just at a baseline first look the better play for the majority of the games here? So here we go. Last year's wildcard games: Colts at Bills. Bills win by 3, 27-24. Rams and Seahawks. Rams win by 10, 30-20. Bucks Washington. Bucks win by 8, 31-23. Ravens Titans. Ravens win by 7, 20-13. Bears Saints. Saints win 21-9. That's a little bit of a blowout. And then the Browns Steelers. Browns win 48-37. Once again, Steelers got blown out in that game. Yes, they still put up 37 points, but remember, it was like 28-0 at the first quarter. So swallowing 12 here with the Chiefs is the right call. Yes, the Steelers defense was good last season as well. I don't think as good as it was at this point of the season last year, just because of they had a lot of injuries at the back end, where they're kind of starting to get healthy here at the back end. But still, at the end of the day, it's Big Ben's bad arm, all those turnovers, all that allowed the Browns to get to that big lead, and then they just coasted for the rest of the game, and they still won by 11 on the road. Chiefs minus 12.5. Yes. Best bet of the week, folks, okay? So, Steelers get blown out when all the other games are usually, for the most part, close, okay? Big Ben, he's done, he's washed, we know this. So all these games last season were relatively close. No real big blowouts except the ones that we should have expected, like the Steelers and like Mitch Trubisky with the Bears. Yes. All right? Now, let's go to 2019. Same thing, or just a completely different? Everybody's getting blown out. Let's quickly see. 2019 wild card games: Bills and Texans. Texans win by 3, 22-19. Deshaun Watson getting it done. Titans at the Patriots. Titans win by 7, 20-13. Derrick Henry getting it done. We get Vikings at the Saints. I believe that's the miracle. No, Vikings win 26-20. Or I believe this is this the other game? Whatever it is. It's It was wild. No, this is a pass is this a pass interference controversial call for the Saints. A couple of controversial calls for the Saints during Drew Brees' last playoff runs. Unfortunate. But either way, it's a close game. Vikings win 26-20. Then we get the Eagles and the Seahawks, and this was a close game. Eagles win 17-9, one-possession game. So all these games were one possession, no blowouts in 2019. What about 2018? Still the same thing. Here we go. Colts at the Texans. Colts win 21-7, a little bit of a blowout, 14-point win. We get Seahawks at the Cowboys. Cowboys win by 2, 24-22. Chargers at the Ravens. Chargers win by 6, 23-17. And then the Eagles and the Bears. Eagles win by 1, 16-15. So overall, just optically on the baseline, just talking about it, points are usually the way to go here, folks. So Eagles plus the 8, still loving it. Alrighty, and then our last lock right here, we've got, we're going to go Patriots plus 4.5 here, playing a little bit of the points game. I believe, once again, this is going to be a close competitive game, so anything over kind of like 3.5, feeling really good, and we get 4.5 here. Yes. Another game where weather is going to play a huge factor. It is going to be cold, folks, and when I mean cold, I mean freezing, shivering, cold. Like, I don't even want to go to the game cold. Like, I would go to any game, but you give me this game, I may be second guessing. I still go to the game at the end of the day, but I'm second guessing going to the game just because it's going to be that gosh dang cold out there. So, getting hit, nobody's going to really want to get hit. Nobody's really want to catch those balls that are going to be like literally like ice blocks. They're going to be hard as ice. They're going to be cold as ice, while your hand is already cold as ice. So it's going to be cold. The ball's going to be hard, all of that. So maybe expect a little bit more running, and that's where we like the Patriots. Ramondre Stevenson played game 1. Bills-Patriots. Patriots win. Ramondre Stevenson does not play game 2. I believe Damian Harris played all of game 2. Bills, Patriots, and the Bills win in a little bit of blowout fashion. I believe the Patriots kept it optically close at the end of the game. And then Ramondre Stevenson back again this week, wild card week on the road, division rival Bill Belichick ready to pump up that defense, knows how to win. Now that you've got 2 bodies of work, what won against the Bills, what did not win against the Bills. Running game worked against the Bills. Mac Jones, got to get him off to a fast start if we're going to rely on him to win us the game instead of having the running backs win us the game. But with the cold being a factor, with the Bills never taking advantage of their home field, never blowing out teams and establishing dominance presence offensively, defensively, right from the get-go, I'm going to just take the points here. I'm taking the points. I'm taking Bill Belichick. I'm taking Ramondre Stevenson. And I'm taking the 4.5 here. Josh Allen is just Josh Allen. You've just got to shut Josh Allen down. That's all it is. We don't care about the Bills' running game. Even when it was windy as heck, game 1, that's why the Patriots only ran the ball. Mac Jones throwing the ball 3 times. The Bills still decided to pass the ball kind of throughout the game here. They are adamant on getting Josh Allen the ball and letting him single-handedly win or lose them the game. So they did that in wild windy weather. They're still going to do that in wild cold as heck, frigid as heck, freezing. A lot of frostbite going to be happening in this game. Tickets are like $4, folks. You can go to a home Buffalo Bills playoff game for like $4, folks, because it is so gosh dang cold, okay? That's how cold it is. They're selling playoff tickets for about $4, okay? So, give me the Patriots plus 4.5. Ramondre Stevenson, we need you back so gosh dang much. I need to see Ramondre Stevenson go crazy. We got to see one more action here by Ramondre Stevenson that hopefully results in a win because we absolutely love that man. So, those are our locks, folks. We're going Chiefs minus 12.5. Eagles plus 8, Patriots plus 4.5 here. We would take the points here with the Steelers, but it's Big Ben. We obviously can't, so we'll swallow points there, but we're taking points everywhere else. Games are usually close. Even last week, Texans kept it close. Jaguars won. It was wild. Raiders kept it close, and everybody was, Raiders won. They straight up won, and we didn't really know. Raiders over the Chargers. Everyone was big on the Chargers. We weren't. We got that right, but either way, teams are going to be competitive this week. They were last week with nothing on the line. Nothing on the line. Chiefs couldn't blow them out. Who did the Chiefs face? Because they couldn't blow them out. We took the pick. Titans and the Texans. Chiefs and the division opponent. It wasn't the Bengals. It wasn't The Raiders, and who the hell did the Chiefs play last week? I can't even remember. It was a Saturday game. It was the first game, so that's why we don't remember. It was the earliest. The Broncos. Oh, how could we forget? Of course, the Broncos. So yeah, I mean, the Broncos kept it close. Drew Lock kept it close. Games will be close. Patriots plus 4.5. I'm taking the points. So those are our locks, folks. Chiefs minus 12.5. Eagles plus 8, and the Patriots plus 4.5. Alrighty, now our two 99% guarantees, folks. Feeling good about these. Potentially, possibly one thing that could go wrong. A little bit, maybe too big of a spread, whatever it is. We'll talk it all through. But here we go, our two 99% guarantees. We are going to go Bengals minus 5.5. Once again, we're losing value, folks. Now, we had it at 5, now it's 5.5. Dang. Y'all are betting correctly. That's why it's going down. So I appreciate y'all. Once again, y'all are listening live. Y'all are betting, y'all understand it. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know. But here we go. Bengals minus 5.5. Loving it here. This Bengals offense, that's really what it's going to come down to. This Raiders offense is not going to be able to keep up pace with this Bengals offense. I mean, the Raiders almost had trouble closing out the game last week against the Chargers, and they were at home in a must-win spot to get to the playoffs, and they almost beefed it down the stretch. Fourth quarter, Chargers put up 15 points. Raiders really couldn't do anything in the fourth quarter. So, if the Chargers played like the fourth quarter, like they did in the first quarter, I mean, I don't know if the Raiders win that game. And we know this Bengals team can come out guns a-blazing. They did it over the final 2 weeks here, final even 3 weeks, just absolutely getting it done, and even still moved the ball decently without Joe Burrow last week. I think they still lost, but still kept it competitive, lost by 5 points over the Browns. But Joe Burrow can get it done. And T. Higgins, folks, I mean, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, the Raiders are not going to be able to cover them. And then if they even want to establish the running game real early on, Joe Mixon, yes, sir, out of the backfield, running and catching, all that. It's just going to be too much for this Raiders team to overcome, in my opinion. We like Derek Carr, don't get us wrong, but they don't have these explosive pieces that can consistently get it done. That's why the Raiders still had a skid at the back end of the season. Yes, they won their final game. That's all great. Yes, they're in the playoffs. That deserves an applaud. The Raiders getting to the playoffs is a huge success and a huge accomplishment, and you just get clout for just making the playoffs, so congratulations to the Raiders and Derek Carr. People are respecting Derek Carr again, which I absolutely love. The man's got a big arm. Got to kind of clean up the clutchability a little bit, and then, we're talking about almost a perfect quarterback. But this Bengals team with Joe Burrow definitely deserves comeback player of the year, absolutely. Letting it fly, letting it loose. Zach Taylor letting him let it loose and all that. Going to Jamar Chase, going to T. Higgins, and then having that, running game in your back pocket. Bengals defense has been really solid here. What are they kind of ranked defensively? Just kind of, we don't really, follow season-long stats, that much. We do kind of, stat by stat, game by game and all that. Just kind of get a feel and a sense and all that. But where did this Bengals defense just kind of end finally in terms of defense compared to everybody else? So here we go, just quickly. Cincinnati Bengals defense. What do we got? Kind of number 17 in points allowed. They've allowed 376 points so far this season. The average is 390. The Raiders have gave up 439 points, so well above the average right there. Not great for that Raiders team facing an offensively explosive Bengals team. This Bengals team, what do they look like in the passing and the running game? They have given up 4,200 passing yards. The average is 3,800. So Derek Carr may be able to pass on this Bengals team. Running attack, do they shut down the run? They have allowed 1,700 rushing yards, and the average is 1,900. So Kenyon Drake and Josh Jacobs maybe a little bit wrapped up where Derek Carr maybe has a little bit more success. But once again, this Raiders team, how consistent are they going to be able to be? Well, they have a great passing attack first, second, third quarter, and then the fourth quarter drops off like we just saw. Maybe they don't even get 3 great performances out of the passing game. I'm going to swallow the 5.5 here. It may be a little bit too much to swallow. This is why it's in the 99% guarantee, because of kind of the spread. If it was -3, that's fine. -4, -5. Now we need kind of 2 possessions if they're scoring a field goal and all that. So the Raiders may have a backdoor cover. Maybe the Bengals are up 10. Raiders, 4 minutes left, really can't do anything. They score a touchdown. They only win by 3, something like that. But I do believe the Bengals offense, while we're watching this game, we're just going to be watching this game saying, yeah, this Bengals offense, they're just leaps and bounds better than the Raiders. So we're going to bet that. and swallow the 5.5 here. The Bengals go out and get it done, folks. All right, and then our second pick and our 99% guarantees, we are going to go Cowboys -3 here, folks. Cowboys -3. We still have a little bit of issues with this Cowboys offense overall, but the way that, Jimmy Garoppolo plays, we still rely on him, and he still can clutch it up. He does make those, boneheaded mistakes, like a 1 or 2 turnovers, bad throws that could potentially be turnovers, and this Cowboys defense will take advantage, folks. Walk of Fame defense, ball hawks all over the field here. The defense for the Cowboys, I think, is going to be the main thing that we're focusing on while we're watching the game. Like with the Bengals, we're like, man, oh man, this Bengals offense is clearly better than the Raiders and can do whatever they want whenever they want. We're going to be saying the same thing about this Cowboys team, but the defensive side. Watching this Cowboys defense, we're going to be like, gosh dang, Jimmy Garoppolo and this 49ers offense really cannot do anything. And I think it's going to play a little bit of a factor. I don't think it's going to be a huge factor, but Jimmy Garoppolo, once again, still never kind of the guy. Like Brian Flores with Tua, Kyle Shanahan with Jimmy Garoppolo. Kyle Shanahan, has been kind of wavering and going back and forth of his comments of the quarterback position really all season long. When Trey Lance got drafted, Kyle Shanahan was like, yes, obviously, Trey Lance is going to play this season. And then the first couple weeks came and it was like, yeah, I don't know when he's going to play. And then, he went out there and didn't look the greatest, y'all. We broke it down. We hated what we saw from Trey Lance in his one start a couple of weeks ago. Then after that game, we get, after the final game of the season, Kyle Shanahan was like, oh, yeah, it was so easy. Of course, Jimmy Garoppolo was the guy. He was always the guy. It was never a tough decision to send Jimmy Garoppolo out there. Of course he's the guy. So Jimmy Garoppolo not having the stability there, we saw how that kind of happened with Brian Flores and Tua. They send Brian Flores out. I don't think they get rid of Kyle Shanahan, but I'm still saying, the offensive side starts to kind of, what word do I want to use? They want to start, the offense gets a little kind of, upset. And that's not the word I want to use, but that's the only word that it's coming to my mind. The word I want to use is not coming to the mind. But Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be a little hurt, a little upset, a little bit left in the dust overall. Be like, hey, why are you so focused on Trey Lance when I'm so much better? I just won us the game. I brought it down in overtime, won the game, all that. I forced the overtime. What's good? I'm here. What is good? So Jimmy Garoppolo right here, he admits the uncertain future, quote, always in the back of your mind, in saying it has been in mind really this whole season. So Jimmy Garoppolo has known Kyle Shanahan, all these comments going back and forth. Trey Lance this, Trey Lance this. Yes, Trey Lance will play. No, he's not. Oh, yes, he is. But then he doesn't look good. And of course, Jimmy Garoppolo's the starter. We've never not had this man the starter. So I just think Jimmy Garoppolo at some point in this game, and once again, the fans were even clamoring for Trey Lance and benching Jimmy Garoppolo when they got down 17-0. So if goodness forbid the Cowboys defense really kicks off right from the get-go, forces maybe a turnover or two in the first quarter or two, everything really could just go downhill. Jimmy Garoppolo feels all the pressure. Kyle Shanahan is like, what the hell is this? The fans start booing Jimmy G and all that, and he doesn't have a miraculous comeback from behind performance like he did last week to win the game overall. So I just want to read this one quote here by Jimmy G. So let's read the lead up just quickly here. Jimmy G helped San Francisco into the postseason, which means any week could be his final game in a Niners jersey, which means any week could be his final game. They kind of know. Jimmy Garoppolo kind of knows, hey, I'm not going to be here next year. They already drafted Trey Lance, but I think that's the wrong decision, the wrong move by the 49ers, but only time will tell. The QB admitted this week his uncertain future has been on his mind all season, saying, quote, it's always in the back of my mind. It has been in mind really this whole season. I knew what type of season it was, knew everything that was going on behind the scenes and whatnot. So it was a little different, but at the same time, you've got to toe that line because you don't want to get too emotional in those moments. You've got to go play football when it comes down to it, but the human side definitely comes into play. Will that human side ever come out and show itself onto the field? It could potentially be this week with this Cowboys Walk of Fame defense exacerbating all the potential flaws in the 49ers offense in Jimmy Garoppolo's game. So I'm betting on the defense this week. The Cowboys minus the 3. We still like Dak Prescott. The offense is a little up and down. When they have a great performance, it usually goes down the next week. So we're really just focusing and honing in on this Cowboys defense to get it done and to hold this 49ers team from scoring that much. We'll swallow the 3 here with the Cowboys. Cowboys -3. So those are our 2 99% guarantees. We got Bengals -5.5 and the Cowboys -3. Now